Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I hope you're doing well and I hope that your new year is going well, so far at least. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you are watching this on the replay, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, go ahead and check out that description box below. I stream here live on YouTube 5 times a week. All the days and times, Eastern US time, are listed below, as is information about my live online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, social media, and crystal shop. If you are here live, go ahead and click that live chat button and feel free to make any requests for your healing that you would like to. I will start out by building a beautiful crystal grid to support all of the requests here. And we'll do that for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. If you want to skip ahead, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and just skip until you see the lights begin to shift into some different colors and just lay back and enjoy the Reiki healing. Without any further ado, let's dive into the grid already in progress. I have a couple stones picked out for us to launch things off today. Okay, cool. So far we have Nephrite Jade. We've been working with this quite a bit lately. This is just good fortune in all of its many ways. Blessings for financial success and security in business, in romance, in life in general, family, friends, community, all the good blessings. We also have, because I've kind of seen it as I've been doing the tarot readings for all 12 signs, which are continuing to go up. A few more have gone up, and today there'll be a whole bunch more going up. There is a lot of change. And one of the stones that helps support change that we haven't been working with lately is petrified wood. And this is a nice polished slab of petrified wood. Petrified wood, and you can actually see the edge here where it really does look like wood. Petrified wood had to die as a tree before it could go through the long transformation into stone. And so that helps remind us of the parts of us that we leave behind and how we evolve as a person on our way to growth. And last but not least, our usual copper spiral, because copper helps to break up energy blockages, get the energy flow in, and it just tends to really ground and start to stabilize the grid in general. So let's go ahead and we'll say hi to everyone who's here, and I'll start taking some requests. So it's so great to see you all. Highland Love, Cora Carr, Grace. We've got Blue Sky, Chris. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, the kittens are also doing well. They're starting to get into a little bit of a routine and feeling of comfort and familiarity here. So it's been nice to see them starting to feel like a little bit more confident. So it's been really lovely. Let's see what we've got here. Healing intention is for a great week at work this week. Welcoming love and happiness in 2023. Chris, healing intentions for your sister, for the spinal stenosis, and for you for low metabolism, breathing, smoking cessation, financial abundance, and Kundalini awakening. And you gave me a list of stones. So if you're new here, you can go ahead and request specific stones or just the theme or a little bit of both. Totally welcomed. I also did see Highland Love. I don't have any of those stones. I'm so sorry. Turquoise is on my list. True turquoise is kind of hard to find at the moment, but I'm working on it. Thuolite, I can get my hands on. It's only mined in Norway or Sweden. I think it's Norway. Either way, I can get some. And sardonyx, I can work on that. That's one that there's either a ton of it on the market and I can grab it, or you can't find it anywhere, but I will get some. So sorry about that, but let me know what other requests you have. Maybe I can help you find what would work. Oh, hey, Violet Integration. Highland Love, no, I haven't been in the office in a bit, so I may not have seen a physical letter just yet. I'll check my emails filters. They've been, ever since a couple months before Christmas when all of the email services changed how promotional emails go and business emails work and all kinds of things. I've been getting some of my email, and I've definitely been getting requests from people saying, how come you haven't answered? So I'll double check the, other folders. Why can't they just put it all in one folder again like it used to be? Then I can find it. If I don't want to get emails, I'll just block them. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for reaching out, and thank you for letting me know. Violet integration, yeah. Text me later. Absolutely. 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 Thank you. I will work with you to purchase some of those off of you. Absolutely. Thank you. So let's see. And like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTuber stuff. Thank you for reminding me, Korakar. Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we got. So we have, let's start with blue skies because I pulled some of those already. You also have an intention for supporting building your nest, laying the foundation for the life you want to create. I love that. And Chris, you have a list of crystals too. Okay, cool. So let's dive right in. Let's do that. So sapphire. Oh, and Picture Jasper was one that was requested by Blue Sky. Picture Jasper, we talked about it last time. It can really help you to visualize the future and to start to envision a better version of what your life can be. And I feel like it really helps with the Soul Star chakra. This is an energy center above the crown chakra. And it's thought that this energy center holds our kind of like our blueprint forward, like our soul's purpose here on earth. But at the same time, that's always changing because we are all making free thoughts. And so is everybody else. So our opportunities, how exactly that will look like, is constantly changing. And in the other energy healing method that I work with, integrated energy therapy, they specifically focus on that particular energy point for clearing because it changes so much. I feel like this really works with the being able to connect with visualizing your life in the future, whether it's being open to seeing it or kind of drawing the universe a picture. It works kind of with both. So I'm going to bring this in. All the different stones kind of look like a picture of the desert, and it can look quite different. I have some larger raw pieces too. But yeah, Picture Jasper, I absolutely love that. And I think that that really supports a lot of the requests today. Green calcite helps with not only anxiety and stress, but also releasing the physical tension that comes with it. Very supportive of the heart chakra. If you feel like you've been so stressed out that your heart is heavy, perfect stone. Perfect stone. But anybody struggling with anxiety, this is a very potent and helpful stone of grounding and clearing. And I don't know if you meant rhodonite or rhodolite. I have rhodonite. I don't have rhodolite. Rhodonite helps us with heartache, heartbreak, grief, unrequited love. Also does help with the lungs. So those of you with breathing issues, this can be really helpful. It can also help with things like whenever we're going through something like, say you've been belittled, and that's something you've really gotten a bit of a tender spot about, or you really think low about yourself, or that your opinions or feedback doesn't matter as much as others, even all the way up into some semblances of emotional abuse. This is thought to be a crystal that's quite supportive and helpful. So I'll bring this in. Let's do that. There we go. That'll be a little easier to work with. Let's do this. So that's rhodonite. It's also, a lot of folks use it for asthma and autoimmune stuff. I'm one of them. I find it helpful for that. Okay, cool. I have aquamarine. I don't have topaz. I have to add that to my list too. I do have a list going. In fact, go ahead and start thinking of some other stones I can add. I have yellow, aventurine, and turquoise on my list already. And I will start to note them down. Go on a little bit of a hunting expedition for good source stones. Let's see. Oh, violet integration, thank you. I really appreciate that. We'll figure out some kind of trade though. I really appreciate you, thank you. Absolutely. Let's see. Awesome, okay. So back into the swing of things. Great week at work. Welcoming love and happiness. I love that too. And I think they both kind of go together in carnelian. So carnelian is a stone that very much resonates with the sacral chakra. And as such, everyone leans to the romantic side of what this stone does, which it does quite a bit. It's everything from sexuality to sexual function and dysfunction and fertility, all the way up to just how we relate to each other on a very human level. So any kind of relationship, from neighbors, friends and family, to coworkers, colleagues, people you work with every day. This helps to allow us to kind of show up in each other's lives and work collaboratively and help to see how we interrelate. That where one person has a lacking, another person excels, and vice versa. So this can be really helpful. It also helps to harmonize the energy between a lot of people. And it is helpful for attracting love. We also have, and welcoming happiness too. We're going to do more about that, but definitely the jade helps with that too. But we will get some more that help with that. Prehnite helps with refusing unrealistic and just sort of out of place demands that are put upon us. If you're somebody who has trouble saying no, or if you have someone around that is a constant boundary pusher, this is a very loving stone of loving yourself enough to help establish, and not just establish, but reaffirm that boundary constantly if necessary. This is also really helpful for any kind of meditation. It helps to stop the mind from wandering, and it's very helpful for learning new spiritual techniques, theories, really anything spiritually based. So we'll bring this in. Sapphire was requested by Chris, and sapphire, and this is some raw sapphire. This is sapphire that wouldn't necessarily be the quality that would get, say, cut and put in a ring. Still exactly the same sapphire. It just looks a little different. It doesn't have clarity. It's very solid. You can't see light pass through it. So it still has the same healing impacts though. It is a very potent stone of channeling, mediumship, psychic connection, and intuition, and especially being able to translate what you get in those connections. So if you're someone who's doing readings or journeying or any kind of mediumship for someone else, this is a stone that'll help you translate the messages you get to the person you're getting them for. So let's go ahead and put this right here. I love working with sapphire. It can be a little bit intense. If you don't have a good grounding practice, you might want to do that first, or at least work with some really grounding stones. We have garnet, which helps us to have the courage to take our dreams and make them come to fruition. Garnet is the very Capricorn stone. It's the, okay, this is what we want to do. Great. Let's find the best possible way to do it and do it. It gives you the courage, the organization, and the openness to new ways of thinking. This is a stone that helps you to be practical, but also see the best way to be efficient, see new ways of doing things, not get trapped in well, I've always done it this way, so I'm just not even going to think about it. This is one that helps you to see like, oh, okay, we do this way all the time. Maybe there's a better way, and helps you really make the best of what else there is to work with. So there's that. Angelite helps us to connect with our angels, unsurprisingly given the name. It helps us to feel their energy around us. It helps us to connect with them spiritually, psychically, and feel their guidance in any way that we're comfortable. If you are working with one specific angel, or just the concept of angels in general, or if you would like to, this is a lovely, lighthearted, and supportive stone that helps you to connect with them and feel their energy around you. So that's Angelite. We also have awesome. Just keeping an eye. We have Ametrine, Hematite, Peridot, Iolite, Rutilated. Rutilated not only by request of Chris, but also in support of Korakar's stepfather with colon cancer. Lots of love to him. Rutilated quartz helps to focus our mind and our energy, as well as any kind of healing impacts or intentions or therapies or treatments or medications of any kind. It's thought to help direct those things to exactly what needs the most help. So take all of the instructions and do all of the things you possibly can. And this is sort of like a complementary method of setting intention to direct those treatments to do exactly what they need to do, where they need to do it. It helps to balance the mind and body's connections to one another, as well as energize us. So this can help bring us the energy store we need to stay healthy and support our immune system and not get run down, as well as to recover after illness, injury, or just being run down. So bring this in. Let's bring these here. Okay. Hematite is intensely grounding and so helpful. This is a stone that's been used holistically before biblical times. It's been highly regarded by people, and of course, I mean, it's largely comprised of iron, so much so that it can be magnetized, which is really interesting. But because it's got a lot of iron, it's got this sort of redness to it, especially if it's cracked open. You can even see a little bit here on the top. This is thought to be related to like the blood in the body, so it was seen as this would help like clear the blood. In modern times, it's seen as something that helps clear energy from all the pathways in the body. So whether you're ill or injured or just emotionally, spiritually, what have you, this helps to go through all of your energy channels, kind of clear that energy and connect that energy to the ground. So we'll bring in the hematite. Iolite helps with, it's very commonly used for fever, but it's also fantastic for intuition, being able to see and envision the different spiritual messages that come to us. So that would be what's called psychopomp or visionary meditation, where we can actually see pictures of what's spiritually important. It's one way of doing healing work or to get answers from the divine. It helps to open up that channel. It also helps with weight loss if that's your intention, and also helps with money management too. So it does quite a bit for us and we use it quite often. So let's go ahead and put this here. Peridot helps us to break up bad habits and cycles, whether they're something we do or it's something we think that's holding us back, notwithstanding. It also helps shore up the relationships that support us in having the most positive cycles that we can. The relationships that help us to break away from those bad patterns. So it's a friendship stone and a stone of breaking up things that are holding us back, opening us up for new experiences and ways of dealing with things. There we go. So that's peridot. We also have Herkimer, Aqua Aura, blue kyanite, and cool, we got all that. So Aqua Aura has been helping a number of us that struggle with depression and seasonal affective disorder. Again, not a replacement for anything, but a massive complement to everything else that you might be doing for those things. Like, do all of the things and bring this too. This is clear quartz crystal that's been put through a man-made process with gold to give it this color. And I've loved working with it because it is fairly new, and because some folks don't want to work with stones that are altered. There's little available in research and other people's opinions about it. There is definitely some, but not as much. So just sort of know that if you're looking for it, the information might be limited, but it's a beautiful stone to work with nonetheless. We'll put that there. Aquamarine was requested by Highland Love. This is one of emotions and moving those through the body. It's helps the teeth, the bones, the gums especially. It's a stone of forgiveness. It helps to deflect pettiness. And when it comes to forgiveness, it's forgiveness for others as well as forgiving ourselves, which are both really important. I've also been working with some, like, researching the stone and how other people use it. And I was like, the anti-pettiness, like, let me look into more of like how other folks use it for that. What I was reading on it just made me want to call this the anti-Karen stone. It calms people who are easily aggrieved or quick to anger, or people who find slights or perceived slights almost everywhere, as well as the concept of justice being wise, and may the truth come out, may things fall into place in terms of justice and who is really right and wrong. So it's justice, it's forgiveness, it's putting things behind you, and it's also taking things a little bit more lightly and more easily, less quick to aggression, and helps us to distance ourselves from folks that would do that. So I feel like this would be the perfect stone to give to my friends in retail and service work. Absolutely. Yeah, that's just like, I was reading about it. I was like, this is basically the Karen kryptonite. I think everyone could use some of this. We've also got the stone next to rhodonite called, so rhodonite and carnelian. And then here is, if it's this one, this is sapphire. That's sapphire. But yeah, the orange is carnelian, and then the green in the middle is nephrite jade. So I hope that helps. Hey, future someone. Hope you're doing well. Aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. We've been working with this quite a bit, and there's a few of you that really like it. So aragonite is a brown, it's the brown within these that helps with healing the lower chakras, and it helps with healing the physical body regardless of the ailment. It's a very grounded, earthy, lower energy center stone, whereas the blue Caribbean calcite is very much like crown chakra stone, the soul's purpose. So the Earth Star, Soul Star stone. This can really help balance and harmonize both of those places, which ultimately allows for balance of all the energy centers within, allowing for a rise in Kundalini energy that is much smoother, much more predictable, easily understandable, and feels a little bit more even flow. So we've got those. Blue kyanite helps us to better understand the intuitions that we get. You ever get those intuitions and you're like, it's beautiful, I have no idea what that means. This is a great stone for that. Also helps us to be just proud of who we fundamentally are, as well as thought to be really helpful for folks who tend to or who are having issues with either brain injury, say recovering from a stroke, like your friend, having a morning, Chris's friend. This is thought to be particularly helpful for brain injury and stroke if it's impacted speech and mobility particularly. So that's blue kyanite. Let's see, I think that's all there. Awesome. Oh, Herkimer. We'll also put this out with intention for Susan and Greg. This helps with taking what we're manifesting and asking the universe for, and it puts a much more community-minded spirituality aspect to it. So, yes, this is what I want and need, and may it also benefit everyone that it touches. May it also be of the highest balance for the community that I'm a part of. It ultimately allows what we're manifesting to be more sustainable and happily connected to everyone. It's also helpful for being in the present moment. It supports healthy metabolism, and it's also really supportive for making harmony between lots of disparate energies. So if you work in a certain place or spend time in a certain place that just feels like there's a lot of different energy, and it's almost like the energetic equivalent of going into a store where they have one radio station playing in the front, one in the back, and then you're standing in the middle and you're like, oh my goodness, this sounds terrible. Yeah, this one. So if you're going to be sitting in like a train station or an airport for a long time and you're sensitive to energy, this can help harmonize that a little bit for you. And since, unfortunately, it sounds like a lot of people are going to be sitting in airports, I'm so sorry to hear that. May the odds be ever in your favor, I suppose. I'm also going to bring in for the smoking cessation. Our good friend Unikite helps with women's health in every way. Also helps with the cravings for smoking, any kind of addiction, really, but particularly smoking. But anything having to do with women's health, from fertility to onset of menses to the first stages, all the way through menopause, and even healthy relationships. So beautiful, beautiful Unikite. so glad you are here. Oh, and spinal stenosis. Amazonite. Almost forgot. So, Amazonite is the caretaker stone. It helps for folks who tend to be the givers of love, support, and help in every variety, to have some self-respect and remember to take care of themselves. Remind them that they are absolutely worthy of every bit as much love, support, and respect that they give out and show to others. It's also very helpful for the spine and the nerves of the spine. So the spine itself, spinal stenosis, the nerves of the spine, sciatica, and a number of other things too. So from scoliosis to sciatica, this one can be helpful. It's a really beautiful stone to work with, and it comes in a number of different shades and colors, from darker greenish blue or bluish green with stripes of white to this like lighter blue. Okay, there we go. I'm so glad you're here. And hey, JS, I hope you're doing good too. So next one. Oh, Korakar, you just got back into Philly, still in the car. Might fall asleep. Long drive. Yeah, seriously. Go ahead and get that rest. Get that rest. And you got in just in time. That line of storms is just showed up. So good on you. Perfect timing. We've also got chrysoprase. We got peridot. Moonstone, moss agate. Chrysoprase, flower, agate, chrysoprase. So we're going to start with the corals. Red coral is greatly protective for women against misogyny, whether it's the workplace, in life, in your home, in society, whatever the case may be. This helps for a woman facing anything that would disregard her opinions, her work, even her very being. This is to basically be the empowerment of equality, that her voice be heard, that her work be just as respected, and that rather than relegating women as almost second-class citizens, equality just as much as the masculine side of our society. So if you're in a work environment and there's sort of that boys club mentality, this can be helpful. If it's outright abject misogyny, this can be really helpful too. White coral helps to support us on our spiritual path, keeps us from getting distracted along our spiritual path, and reminding us to, you know what is in your highest good, you know what your soul star is pulling you towards in your soul's purpose, and reminds you to stay on that track. It's always good to listen to feedback, especially if it's constructive criticism. It's good to get perspective from the other folks in our lives, and sometimes we have to let go of when people are telling us just what they want us to do, and that, or what they think of us. And that it's always difficult to tell one from the other. However, this is a stone that reminds you of what your spiritual path is. This is a great stone to work with for anything around that. Flower blossom agate is tremendous for blossoming into the you that you want to be. It's also fabulous for recognizing all of the ways that you have grown and are continuing to grow. It's deeply encouraging and allows you to really see how you've blossomed and bloomed. Sometimes we lose sight of that because we just see how far we have to go in the distance. This is one that reminds us to see ourselves as blooming anew. Which brings us to chrysoprase, which has a lot in common with this stone. Chrysoprase helps us to overcome disappointment and avoid burnout, especially on long-term types of projects. where we've been going at it for what feels like it's been 84 years. It helps us to see that we have made progress, and we're able to see where we are in that process rather than just not at the end yet. It's also really helpful if you get thrown off course, if you are disappointed, if there's a massive setback or even a little setback. If you did a lot of work, opened a business, the business closed. This reminds you that, like, yeah, this is awful, this sucks. At the same time, you learned a lot in this process. You're not just starting completely over. There is a lot that you gained in this process, and a lot of skills and knowledge and resilience that you've collected from this that will serve you well again. You have a lot of connections that can serve you well. This is one that reminds you that it's many steps, many bites eats the sandwich kind of thing. So let's put that behind the green calcite. Moss agate is fantastic for viruses, illnesses, any kind of thing that is in your body that you don't want in there spreading around. Moss agate can be really, really helpful for. This is anything from upper respiratory to bacterial something to anything. And because everybody is fighting something off right now, I feel like this is an appropriate stone. Moonstone helps with connection to our intuition and inner knowingness, wisdom, especially deep spiritual wisdom or old spiritual wisdom. I always thinking of it as being very connected to the High Priestess in the tarot deck in that way. It's like ancient wisdom, hidden secrets, and also the balance of the cycles of Earth. She's sacred wisdom. The magician is knowledge in action. I have the tools. I know how to use them. I make things happen. She is, I understand the cycles. I know what's going to happen. I am empowered with knowledge. So we'll bring this in. It can be very helpful for attracting love, divine wisdom, and protection during travel particularly. So another one that helps there. Also for connection with lunar cycles if you're doing any kind of moon magic around new moon, full moon, any kind of lunar cycle stuff. The natural cycles of the world. I also feel like if you struggle with sleep patterns, like your circadian rhythm, this could potentially be helpful because of that. Moonstone can come looking lots of different ways. Hey, let's actually do this. And that's my little cat making some noises in the background if you didn't hear her. I also feel to add Mookite, just in alignment with a lot of the questions y'all have been asking. This one helps with decision making and accepting change. So this really can support all of us that need to, like, we know what we need to do, kinda, but we're kind of paralyzed in the decision making. Yeah. But also accepting that there needs to be a decision made, that something is shifted. This also goes by Australia Jasper. So that's Mookite. And opal. Here's some fire opal. Opal helps the spiritual worker, shamanic practitioner who is working in the spirit realms to stay comfortably hidden, not hidden as in to do sneaky, but more hidden as in to go in, do what they need to do, mind their business, and not elicit any interactions that are not helpful. So it's very protective. It helps to keep one's focus when doing shamanic work. It is highly protective and considered very sacred by many shamanic traditions. So lots of love to you, Korakar. Have a good rest. Violet integration, intention for clarity and ability to follow through with your intentions. Gotcha. Intention of clarity and ability to follow through with your intentions. Follow through chrysoprase helps. Clarity, rutilated quartz. Follow through. Let me think. Garnet, definitely helpful for all of those things. I keep feeling like chrysocolla. This one is definitely good. It's another one for making decisions in alignment with your highest purpose, but it also gives you encouragement as you follow through on them. So let's bring that in. Absolutely beautiful. This is somewhat closely related, at least underground, to turquoise. They are both found very close to copper, which is why they have this like similar patina-ish type look. And as far as enacting action, like this definitely does like helping making decisions in alignment along with Mookaite. And I'm going to actually, yeah, I'm just going to put a slightly larger one there. I'm going to also put in some polychrome jasper, which also helps us to feel grounded in our soul's purpose and say like, okay, I feel like I can start doing the work and walking the walk and making the things happen, do the stuff that's going to bring this to life, bring it from a thought, a vision, an idea, a dream into reality. It gives you a lot of energy to support that. So that's polychrome jasper, which comes in tons of different colors, from black to light blue to almost white and everything in between. And my cat agrees. You can hear her meowing. You might even get a blessing from the kitty. Are you going to come up and touch things? Are you? Are you? Nah. Okay. Hey, Hattie, you want to come up? Yeah, it's raining. It's raining. I know. Thank you for being here. Oh, yay! You just received a quartz Ravenclaw from the Ukraine. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Comfort and calling in a new job and home that suits who you are, your energy, and your pace of life. I love it. And we also have future someone, Chalcopyrite, Sodalite, Pyrite, Bloodstone Jet. Bloodstone Jet. The only chalcopyrite that I have is this really beautiful specimen that is even more clear quartz than it is chalcopyrite. So the chalcopyrite is the off gold kind of color in here, but this is like a quartz cluster that it's in. This helps with, I mean, this is really helpful for clarity of mind. So this definitely supports the clarity of following through with things. It also helps to kind of organize the mind behind one particular thing without losing the ability to see perspective. That's how I use it. If you use it a different way or if you use it for other things, let me know. And we're going to go ahead and put you... Whoa. Tumbling. We're tumbling. I know where. I know where. we will place these both here, at least for now. Awesome. Jet helps with grief in general. It's one that can help with being present with that grief, not being overwhelmed by it or like numb to it, but to really be present in it and being able to process it, being able to feel your feelings in a sense. Yeah, it's wood that has been fossilized volcanically very quickly, unlike petrified wood, which is a long time. This happens very quickly, usually through volcanic activity or very, very, very hot fire. So it helps you make sense of and come to terms with very quick, sudden change and grief. So let's do, and I don't know if you hear my cat, but here she is. Meow, mirror back at you. Are you photobombing? Are you photobombing? Where are you going? Oh, you having a good day? You having a good day? Oh, yeah, you can hang out. Sodalite helps with expression and communication in general, whether you're doing public speaking or writing, any way that you're going to like communicate and express truly, especially if you're expressing something that's very close to the heart. This is one that helps to ground impulses as well. Many folks do use it to help alleviate menopause symptoms, as well as kind of come to terms with aging, as well, and also, we've lost our fire opal. And also helpful for anyone who's struggling with homesickness. Let's go ahead and put one big piece right here. It's a very, I feel like as much as it's a throat chakra stone, it is very grounding, very earthy. It helps us take what is very personal to us and express it. Bloodstone is the emotional stamina, it's great for emotional despair, and just in general, the emotional stuff hits the fan. It works with the heart and the root chakra. So whenever we have like, whether it's self-doubt and we just feel like, I don't know if I can move forward at all because I'm doubting myself, all the way up to and including, I had such a life-shattering loss or change or shift that I feel like I can't even move forward. I don't know what to do with myself. It's just totally thrown my trust in myself, and it's totally thrown my emotions for the loop. This is a superb stone for all of those things. So this is bloodstone, which also goes by heliotrope in much of the world. I can't play with you right now. I'm working. I will play with you later. Yeah? Yeah. Here, you want something to play with? Here. Hey, you. There you go. Oh, she's a happy cat now. Ah, that's why that looks strange to me. As always, just trying to keep it neat. Struggle. The struggle. Okay. And we've got pyrite. Fool's gold helps call in the real gold. This is a potent stone of calling in financial abundance. It's very protective as well. It helps to keep energy moving. It's thought to be very helpful for Reiki practitioners in that regard. It's also helpful for fever and the lungs, as well as the brain and memory. while it heightens intuition. So if you're somebody who's working with intuition and you want to start bringing some protection in, you're not quite sure what stone to work with, this is a good starter stone because it kind of does a little bit of both. We're going to bring that in here. Ooh. Calling in the new job in the home that suits. Oh, thank you, Highland Love. I really appreciate that. Sharing me with people on the West Coast. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My goal was I set a goal for 500 by New Year's, and we hit it just before midnight on New Year's. It was amazing. Thank you. I mean, I've been on YouTube less than a year, so that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of growth. Morning, Jennifer. How can we support you today? Sleep regulation, you got it. Iolite is there. I'm going to bring in some amethyst and some labradorite, and then get to JS's request, and then we're going to get into the healing. This is a great stone for things like sleeping better, absolutely, but even more so, and actually I brought in moonstone for you too for the circadian rhythm. Oh, absolutely go back to sleep, hon. I know. Ugh. Yeah, I brought in some moonstone, and I actually mentioned circadian rhythm. I must have just sort of felt it in the stream of things. I hope things get better for you, hon. All the best. Have a good sleep. Yeah, it is. I've been on YouTube less than a year. It was like April or something. And so we're up to 500. That's more than one a day. That is really great. So thank you, everyone. But yeah, this helps to connect us with spirituality, whether it's a new take on spirituality or our first take on spirituality. When we're doing any kind of self-improvement work, it helps us to keep our opinion of ourselves high while we pick through the muck. So if we're doing any kind of shadow work or healing patterns that are not helpful, maybe even that we've now find embarrassing and we feel really down on ourselves, this can help lift us up again, see ourselves as valuable and a work in progress, which at best everyone is. Also very helpful for sleep, as Labradorite is very helpful for better sleep. It also calms disputes, helps with workplace harmony, so this will definitely be helpful for a few of you. Another one that helps with clairvoyance and detailed attention to things like finding errors. If you're doing your book work, if you're doing coding and you're like, there's one little thing wrong, Labradorite. Also helps with research and study. So where shall we place these? Under the Iolite, for sure. I'm going to put the Labradorite up here. And for manifesting, calling a new job and home that better suits who you are, your energy and pace of life, definitely the Herkimer diamond is helpful. And I know for you, we've been doing a lot of tourmalinated quartz. This definitely helps with new streams of income, streams of revenue, which is definitely an intention I've had in the new year. This also helps with breaking up scar tissue. So that's whether it's physical on or in the body or emotional, like we've experienced something and we expect it to be that way again. Keeps jumping. Also really helpful when we've had any kind of blockages in the cardiac system. It's thought to be very helpful for that. Of course, not a replacement for anything, a complement to everything. And also protection during travel, particularly if by car. So patterns from childhood and grounding and releasing like negative energy patterns too. So we'll bring this in. And then last but not least, hey, Sammy. Your dog with ear infection. Oh, we got a kitty. We got a kitty on the loose. Are you blessing the grid? Meet Gertie, everyone. Hey, babe. Yeah, peace to all and happy new year to you too, Sammy. So I wanted to do something that is more in alignment with you. I definitely feel like chrysoprase is helpful. For ear infection with the dog, we have moss agate, which is helpful with infections, and also for animals, leopard skin jasper, anything with animal healing. And because we did just get blessed by a cat, I mean, obviously this has to come out. But also anything that has to do with balance and coordination, if that's been impacted by the ear infection, this can help that, as well as anything impacting the skin. So leopard skin jasper. Archangels, absolutely. I've got Angelite here. Perfect. Good stuff. And finding the right place, the right space. I think I'm going to go with Celestite. That was my first pick for that. So last one is Celestite. This also goes with the angels for sure. Helps with any amount of physical pain on some level, but also really great for discerning thoughts from fears so that we can better understand and accept our spiritual guidance. This also helps connect us with the angels, who are excellent at helping guide us to our next steps, our spiritual purpose. They're highly aligned with the soul star stuff, like where we're seeing what's in the future and going in that direction. So this will help your angels kind of be like, it's over there to your left, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put this in, and then we're going to explain what Reiki is and get into the healing, so you all know how that works. So start going ahead and getting comfy for your sessions if you haven't already. And while I explain what Reiki is to anyone who's new, I encourage you to go ahead and pop in the comments and feel free to set any intention or affirmation or whatever you might work with for the new year or whatever you might be working on. It could be something you're looking to embrace or call in, something you're working to let go of. If it's a little too personal for, like, say, being on YouTube in front of everyone, you can just put in a couple of emojis that feel like they are resonant with you, and your guides will know exactly what you mean. So go ahead and do that. I will be right back, and then we will get into the healing. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I'm so glad to have you here today for some Reiki healing and some crystals. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like button and consider subscribing with your notifications on so you don't miss a chance to join us. So the style of Reiki that I work with is known as Usui Reiki, and it's named after this particular technique's founder, Mikao Usui. He created this method in the early 1920s Japan and was someone who was well-versed and incredibly well studied and practiced in many different styles of healing, from esoteric Buddhism to Shugendo, which is a type of indigenous shamanic practices from Japan, as well as Confucianism and Taoism. But to really understand the core concept of what Reiki is and what the concept of energy is, that is the foundation for this practice, we can look to Shintoism, which is the indigenous spirituality of Japan. And in this sort of worldview, if you will, everything is interconnected. Everything has a soul, and all of those souls have interplay with one another. In this interconnectedness, there are other forces at play as well. One of those being a spiritually guided soul or life energy that helps to support our balance and healing on all levels. That's really what Reiki translates to. This particular method that Usui created is a fairly modern one. There are practices of it going back as far back as we have records and understood in various different ways through different people and peoples. The style and technique that he created in early 1920s Japan was secular and really resonates with us in the West, in large part because of that. The concept of energy here, that Reiki energy that flows through everyone and supports all of us to find the best balance on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels, is already a part of you and me and everyone and everything else around us. We're already working with this energy, even though we're not aware of it. Just like we're mostly made of water and we don't need to use our conscious mind to focus all of the different practices that go in line with that and that keep us alive using water. Same with Reiki. We don't even have to acknowledge it, and it's there. Essentially, what I'll be doing today is connecting with that energy and directing more of it to you, which empowers your body, mind, and spirit to come into a better sense of balance. You may feel it physically in your body. You may have your emotions shift or move or release. You may have your inner voice kind of speak to you, your subconscious, or even just get like a really good opportunity to think some things through that you've been working out, or get some really divine inspiration or even intuition that comes to you. You may also have a really great nap. Any of these, and probably some combination thereof, are likely to happen, and all you need to do is just exist. I suggest getting as physically comfortable as you can, whether that's laying down, sitting up. You can close your eyes, get a blanket, whatever makes sense to you. But you can also use this time to take a few stretches, journal, throw a few cards for yourself, whatever feels in alignment with you in this moment. There's no wrong way to spend this time. As I connect to this energy and send more to you, I will put the lights to a slightly different setting so that you'll see them moving gently and slowly to several different colors. There will be no flashing or strobing. There will also be some beautiful music. You can learn more about the musical creator at the bottom of the description below. And I'm really grateful that you are here today. All of our energies will remain separate and protected, but at the same time celebrated and empowered. If you'd like to learn more about me, my live online Reiki certification classes, which are limited to 6 or fewer students each, my one-on-one sessions and readings, crystal shop, Discord, social media, All that good stuff is linked down below. Thanks again for being here. At the end of the 25-minute session, you'll hear my voice come in, invite you to take a deep breath and come on back. And at that time, I'll reopen the chat so you can ask any questions or share any experiences that you feel motivated to share. So thanks again for being here. Those of you in the future who are watching this from the past, hello, you're going to have just as much fun in healing a time. Because we are all interconnected, it doesn't matter where you are in terms of miles or kilometers, and it doesn't matter when you are in terms of time. So anytime that you'd like to experience a session, feel free to go through our past healing library, which is many, many, many deep at this point, over 100 deep, and you can just pick them out by the picture of the grid on the thumbnail. Go ahead, plop it on, and if you want to enjoy the banter about crystals, you can, or you can skip ahead, moving that timer to where you see the lights begin to shift, and just enjoy the music and the energy. The energy will reach you whenever and wherever you happen to be, just based on your intention to connect with it. And we're going to have another kitty blessing. So let's go ahead back and get into the healing. Awesome. So here's our Chalcopyrite, by the way. It's a little bit cut off there. So everyone go ahead, get comfy. Oh, here is little Miss Hattie. If anybody's going to bat a stone, it's most likely her. Are you blessing the grid? Yes, you are. Little pause. Little pause. Which one do you want to work with today? So thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your session. And I'll see you all in about 25 minutes. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly move your fingers and toes and begin coming back to the space that you're in. Thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who happened to look up at the screen, I hope you enjoyed the big blessing from Hattie. If you have any questions or anything to share, feel free to go ahead and enter those to the chat. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, and somebody's jealous. Well, come here. You all are so welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm so glad these sessions have been helpful. You all are so welcome. What are you two doing? You're welcome from me, and I'm sure Hattie feels the same. Currently, they're playing with they have these bell balls that are just a little bit too loud, especially when they echo and roll over the floor. So I crocheted little covers for them. They come out much better now. So that's what they've been playing with. I hope you have a terrific Tuesday too, Highland Love. And all of you, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure as always. As always, I will be here tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m. And I did just upload the Virgo tarot for all 12 signs for January. And I'll continue recording and posting those throughout today as well. Let's see, I might have one here to show you. Sorry for all the squeaky chair. This is the bell ball with the crocheted cover. This is one of them. They're all different colors of yarn because I'm just reusing scraps. But whereas if they don't have this cover, they'll pick up from the kitchen on the microphone. And this is a foot from the microphone, so it's enough for them to be stimulated, but not so much that you all are too. So, here, go get this. Aw. She's carrying it around in her teeth. Okay, I'm going to let all of you go and have a beautiful rest of your day. As the cats run around with all of these. Thank you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow at 4. And Happy New Year still, and bye for now.